So I am having to do this video from my car, so forgive me if things are a little off or shaky. Plus I'm also not that good at videos, so there's that. Anyway, I'm the Iron Matron, and I've been wanting to make a video for a while about why I left nursing and went into business doing metal fabrication with my husband. And I'm just, life gets busy, and it's just been on me that I may need to do it. Somebody may need to hear it. Somebody may have went through the same thing, and it may help somebody. So that's why I'm doing this video. I was in the nursing field for 11 years. I'm not going to name names of facilities or towns. The two people who were the administrator and who were over everything have passed away, and I'm not really sure where the other lady went, and I know that there's new owners there as well over the facility, so I don't want to throw shade on a facility that I haven't been at in over 10 years, because I have no idea how they run things now. But I'm going to tell my story of what happened and why I left the healthcare field forever. I'll never go back. So like I said, I was there, and I was at the same facility for 11 years. I'd never been written up, never been in trouble. I'd had a good work reference with all of my coworkers, my patients or residents. They all seemed to like me, and I really cared deeply about them. I bridged over after some time into our physical therapy, doing restorative work. So we were also, I worked with elderly people. I guess I should have said that first. That was what I did the entire time. I have a heart for elderly people, and they're really quite funny. But anyway, they have so much wisdom to share with us. And so I had bridged over into physical therapy, doing restorative work. We are also a rehab facility, so there was a lot of patients that had, fallen or gotten injured at home with their hips or had surgery, and so they would come to the facility for rehab. And I got called into the office one day, and I was told that some of the people who I was doing work with needed to either do more ambulation, which is the steps that they walk, or different exercises, different things that the doctor had basically ordered that they needed to do. And it was for their insurance money. So I explained that the ones that I charted less on was because they weren't physically able to do the amount that was prescribed. And I will say that oftentimes they'll complain, they don't want to do it, and sometimes it really is necessary. It's necessary to have some movement and range of motion because it lessens pain. It gives them a better quality of life, just a lot of things. However, at the end of the day, they still have rights as human beings, and they still have the right to refuse anything that they don't want to do. And most of them, 80, 90 years old, they've lived their whole life. They have the right to refuse something if they want to refuse it. Having said that, there are times when they're crying and they're pleading with you, and they're in pain, and they're on pain medication. And there comes a point where you have to make a decision like, look, they're not able to do this. It's too much. So then I was informed that I needed to chart it anyway if they weren't able to. Well, no, that doesn't sit right with me, because for one thing, that's fraud. And I'm not going down for falsifying medical records and fraud. I would have lost my license. I would have been in trouble. And I can promise you that any kind of facility, whether it be long-term care or any other, they're not going to defend you. They're going to throw you under the bus if something like that comes out. And so I refused. They didn't like that at all because it messes with their funding. That was my first realization that healthcare had become a business. It really no more was focused or centered around wellness, and healthcare was focused around money. Then my next dose of reality of this fact was when I started noticing doctors prescribing what I like to call a cocktail of medicines, pharmaceuticals, that would all have the side effect of slower respirations, slower heart rate. Now, these are elderly people. They already have slow respirations and slow heart rates. And essentially, after a period of time of having these side effects of these medications, it helps ease them on out of this life. That is my opinion. I am not accusing anybody of malpractice in any way. I'm telling you what I felt about it, and I expressed my grievances, and they also did not like that. So let's fast forward to about 2 months later, and I had gotten really sick. I had walking pneumonia and went to the doctor. I had a doctor's note. The doctor took me out of work for a week. At the time, I only worked 3 12-hour shifts a week. And so anyway, I called the charge nurse that was there that day, answered the phone. I explained what was going on, told her I had a doctor's note for my whole 3 days. I actually had a doctor's note for a week. And I let her know. So the next time that I was there was actually on payday, when we have our meeting and we go over everything and everybody gets their paychecks and all of that good stuff. And so I get there for that, and I'm informed that I've been terminated. I've been let go. That was really hard for me, for a lot of reasons. I couldn't believe it. I turned in my doctor's note, and I showed them that I did have a doctor's note, and that, my absences weren't excused, and that I called. I told them who I called and spoke with that day, gave them their name, gave them the time that I called, and they informed me that I was still terminated. And so I went to the labor board and I filed for unemployment, and the company that I worked for denied me. And so I had to file a hearing against them, and I had to actually have a hearing with the labor board and them, and it was a phone hearing. And so when the hearing was scheduled, the lady that actually took my call wasn't present, and I expressed and I showed them my doctor's note, everything. Didn't have any write-ups. I didn't have any disciplinary actions, no complaints, any of that. So I won against the company, and they had to pay me, for a couple of years after that. So after that, I was really heartbroken, because that's not why I went into nursing. And at a long-term care facility, I wasn't making, a vast majority of money. I made decent money, but I was really sad and really heartbroken. And when I see some of the things that have happened to some of my people that I'm still friends with that are still in nursing after the craziness that happened about 3 or 4 years ago, everybody knows what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. It's really disheartening what's happened to them. Some of their lives have been destroyed. Some of their livelihoods were destroyed. Some of their health was destroyed. And it's not right. And I never went back to healthcare because I decided at that moment I couldn't be a part of nursing or healthcare that is a business. That's not what it's supposed to be, and it's gotten worse, I feel, since that time. And I'll tell you this, I don't know if you can see, but I have this part of my face has more of a droop than the other part of my face, and we're not really sure what that was from. If it was from the... I'll make another video about that. But anyway, so I went into business with my husband. He was already doing the field that he was doing, but we built something bigger, better, and greater together. And we've been very prosperous. And I'll tell you what, I have more time. I have time to be with my son. I can he can go to work with me. There's no one falsely accusing you of things. Well, and sometimes you get customers that falsely say things, but other than that, it's sad to me though, because I do miss the relationship with the people, the patients. And I felt like I did make a difference when I was there, and I was there to help. And you know, I know that there are other people that have experienced something similar, and I just have a message of hope and encouragement to, if you're still in the field, don't give up if that's what you love. But don't be afraid to speak against injustices. Stand up against them, and you will be blessed and prosperous, even if you lose your job. I did. I lost my job, and I've been more blessed and more prosperous after that, because, you know, people have different opinions of it being God or karma, or, you know, whatever your interpretation of it is. When you do that, good things will follow, and you will be blessed for that. And for anybody who's going through a hard time with it, I'm here to just tell you it's okay, and you're not alone, and not to give up, to just do it. I'll go into more detail about it later, but I just wanted to share that because I've watched some of my friends that are still in nursing go through some really hard times the past few years. And so I just wanted to share my story and the success of it afterward. And I hope that this is helpful. I'm going to sound like a regular YouTuber and say subscribe and hit the bell. But we'll chat again, and I'll go into some more detail and give you the deets on some of the inner workings of it. Until next time.